As a salon or spa owner, cosmetology school gave you the skills to serve clients, but it definitely didn't teach you how to run a business. Somewhere along the way, you probably thought ownership would mean freedom, but instead you're working more hours than ever, barely paying yourself, and low-key worried everything's going to fall apart the second you step away. Welcome to the Beauty Biz Breakdown, where we give you the real strategies, systems, and structure that you need to fully step into the CEO seat in your beauty business. Hey friends, welcome to the Beauty Biz Breakdown, the go-to podcast for salon and spa owners who are ready to build a more profitable, more predictable beauty business. I'm Brie, and as always, I've got my bestie and co-host Chandra here with me today. Hey girl.
Hello, hello.
All right, Chandra, I want to start with a question for you. How many salon and spa owners do you think see a big gift card sale come through and immediately think, nice, that is money in the bank right away?
I would say 80 to 90% of them.
Absolutely. I'm going to be honest. I used to do the exact same thing when I first started selling gift cards. Like at the time, I don't think it really caused me any huge issues because I was working solo. But once I bought my salon, I had a full team producing services. That's when I really started realizing there was a lot more going on with gift cards than what I originally understood. And I think this is an area that we see salon and spa owners struggle with at the Beauty Biz agency. So I thought it might be a good topic to kind of talk through today. Gift cards are something almost every salon, spa, or beauty business uses. If you don't, you need to start. If you truly promote and push them, I think you can make a ton of money during the holidays, especially. We made a killing off of gift card sales for things like Christmas presents, Mother's Day presents, birthdays, last minute gift situations. And we also made a ton when we ran all of our gift card promotions. The point is, they can be absolutely one of the most amazing tools that you have for bringing cash into your salon and attracting new clients. The issue isn't the gift card themselves. The issue is that many owners treat that money the same way that they treat service revenue. And those two things are not really the same thing. When a client buys a gift card, the money hits your account right away. Your POS, your CRM, it records the sale. Your daily sales reports, they increase, obviously. And from the outside, it looks exactly like normal revenue. But what actually happened in that moment is that your salon accepted payment early for a service that still has to happen later on, right? The haircut hasn't been done yet. The color hasn't happened yet. The facial or massage that card will eventually be used for, it's still somewhere in the future waiting to be performed. And this is what people forget. So I think the easiest way to think about gift cards is this. A gift card is prepaid work. That's just the best way. Someone has already paid for a service that your team is going to perform later. I think when owners start looking at gift cards that way, a lot of confusing things inside their salon suddenly starts to make sense. And the easiest way to see how this plays out is to look at a very normal situation inside of a salon. So let's talk about it, Chandra. Imagine that your salon sells $15,000 in gift card sales during December. 15,000 gift card sales during December. That's not unusual at all, or it shouldn't be anyway. Holiday shopping is happening, right? People are buying gift cards for family members. And if you're doing the right thing, you're promoting those gift cards heavily during that time of year. So the business receives a lot of money. December sales look great. The bank account looks healthier than normal. And you, the owner, feel like the salon finished the year really, really strong. But then January arrives. Clients begin redeeming those gift cards. The salon is busy. The schedule is full. Stylists are performing services all day long. Commissions are being paid like normal. But financially, something different is happening behind the scenes. Because the services are happening now, but some of that money tied to those services already passed through the business weeks earlier when those gift cards were sold. So it gets really, really confusing. Chandra, when we explain this to owners for the first time inside of our coaching, I think this is usually the moment where you see that light bulb go off and they realize why certain months in their salon feel really confusing financially. For some reason, they never bring it back to the gift cards that they've sold.
Yeah, I always think it's kind of funny because I get it. It's just kind of common sense, but it also is just when we start going through this with with owners, it's like they seem so confused. And I feel like we even have to kind of break it down for them. Like it's like it takes a minute for them to really compute exactly what that means. That that's not money that came in. That money's not there. Like that it doesn't exist until that gift card gets redeemed. And it's like such a hard concept to wrap your head around, but I feel like once they get it, it's like an aha moment and everything changes and we can make this better. But it is funny how in our industry we just see money that hits the bank account. We're not paying any attention to where that's necessarily coming from or that if that needs to be allotted to something else.
And I think that all goes back to the majority of salon and spa owners starting out in that solo career because we don't separate personal and business money when we do that. We just look at the bank account, spend whatever's in there, and move on about our day. And so when we transition into actually having employees and a team, it's hard to relate to how that works moving forward. I think another piece that makes gift cards really tricky for owners is losing track of how many are kind of still out there waiting to be used. In a busy salon, gift cards move around constantly, really. Someone buys online, someone uses part of it during an appointment and saves the rest for another visit, and someone might find a gift card months later and book a service to finally use it. I think if owners are not regularly checking the outstanding gift card balance inside of their system, it can become very easy to underestimate how much prepaid work is still sitting in the system waiting to be delivered. That outstanding balance represents services that your team is going to have to eventually perform, right? And so you have to pay attention to that. Chandra, when owners pull their outstanding gift card report for the first time, do you usually see them surprised by how large that number actually is?
Yeah, I think so. Because you don't even notice. You don't even know what's really going out or coming in, and what's been redeemed and what hasn't been redeemed. You're not always paying attention to that. So I think that report is very eye opening.
Yeah. It's something that you just don't think about pulling either. Like, for the longest time, it wasn't on my record at all. Like, I didn't have it put down to pull at any point in time until I really started learning my finances and learning how to play the game that you and I play with our profitability and wanting to up that all the time. Before then, I never really pulled that report. I just didn't. I didn't care how many were left. We were going to figure it out when it happened. But I think that's where the team component comes into play as well. Stylists and technicians have to be paid when the service happens. And unfortunately, I think owners get really confused around this area a lot of time. The gift card itself does not change that part of the equation. Your team gets paid commission when they're performing it, right? Your team still did the work and they should absolutely be compensated for it. What matters, I think, is the owner has to understand that that labor cost is going to show up when that service is delivered, not when the gift card originally sold. And so if you aren't paying attention to your numbers and you're just spending money in your bank account, you are going to be screwed. Chandra, do you feel like this is where a lot of owners kind of start overthinking?
Yeah, I think then they start to realize that they have to pay attention to that stuff and they have to see because that is what happens. You're like, how come my payroll's so high? I don't feel like that much money came into the business during that time. And it's because the amount that was on those gift cards is still going on to the stylist total. They're still being paid for it. But you already spent the money that came in for those services because you weren't paying attention to that. And so now you're trying to scramble to come up with that money again to make those payroll, to make payroll or to pay your product cost for those services after that money has already been disappeared somewhere else.
Yeah, and what we see happen is people try to rob Peter to pay Paul, right? Like they're taking it out of different areas. I think this is why it is so important to keep gift cards in a separate bank account, like in a separate account completely. Chandra and I, we really, really focus at the Beauty Biz Agency on creating a bunch of different accounts. And when we are talking to owners about this, a lot of times I can see them like rolling their eyes at us because it is a lot. Like, yes, you have to open different accounts, but it is the only way that you are truly going to make sure that you are able to pay yourself and that you have profitability and that you have an emergency fund and that you have money to pay your employees with when it comes to gift cards and things of that nature. It's really, really important to do that. Chandra, how did your business and your life change when you started creating all of these accounts, when gift cards had their own account? And just how did that look for you?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely went down that rabbit hole of discovering how much we were not paying attention to this. And so we opened up an account for that. I call it a liabilities account. And we do have all the different accounts for, like you said, the profitability and our profit and expenses and all those things. But it's not that hard. It sounds like a lot of work, but once you actually put these things into play, like I once a month look in that account, look at a liabilities report, see how much money's still out, make sure that's what I have in there, transfer over anything that can be redeemed or transfer money over that needs to be put back. And so it's really not that hard to manage. I think they overthink that and they're like, oh my God, I have to have all these accounts and I have to do all this accounting. It literally is pretty quick, but you just have to make sure you have clear reporting and that you're just taking the time to do that.
Yeah, it's just a simple rhythm that you get used to using every day, every week, every month. And when you can create that rhythm, you're going to stop feeling confused and you're going to start becoming it's going to start becoming something you can manage intentionally. And that's what you want in your business. It's really, really important. So we kind of walk through, how gift cards actually move through a salon business. I think we should talk about what people need to do as the owners so they don't create financial headaches for themselves later on, because I love gift cards and I think they can be a great thing, but they only stay that way when the owner actually manages what's happening here. So, Chandra, I have 5 steps I would love to hear. I know you and I work so similarly and we coach people together all the time, but let's talk about these. So, the first thing that I would say to do is look at your gift card balance inside of your CRM system. Every CRM system has some version of a report that you can pull for this. If it doesn't, and you have a team, you need a new CRM system. I am baffled. This is off topic. I'm baffled about the number of salon and spa owners that are still using CRM systems that don't have the reporting that they need for their business and for their team. Chandra, talk about that for a second.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know if you don't have a CRM that can track all of these metrics, then you are going to be in trouble. Like there's just no way around it because you need to know what's happening in your business and you can't. And I think most CRM softwares out there have these capabilities now, and most of them are not even, you can find them to be very affordable. You might have to look, there's so many options, but don't pick anything that doesn't have this kind of reporting because I think you need to know. Like you got to have a good CRM system that you can know and see what's happening with your money.
Yeah, there's no other option. There really is no other option. And there are a ton of them out there. And I'm going to be honest, you and I, we get to see a lot of these different CRM systems because everybody that we coach, it seems like, uses a different version of something. And I don't think there is one that has everything that salon and spa owners need. Every single one of them is lacking in something. And so find the one with the best reporting because that is going to be the most important thing for you and your business moving forward. So the first step is to look at the gift card balance inside of your POS system, your CRM system, whatever you want to call it. It's going to show you the total dollar amount of gift cards that have been sold but not used yet. That is going to be a very, very important number. The second thing I think is stop treating gift card sales like normal service income and start, putting those in a different bank account. I think when a gift card sells, the money should not immediately get mixed into that everyday spending. It is going to cause problems. If it all lands in your operating account, it becomes very easy to get used without realizing it. So you've got to make sure that you do that. Chandra, when you are going through this process in your salon, I'm curious because I don't think I've ever asked you this. How often do you move that gift card money into its own account? Do you do it on a daily basis, on a weekly basis? What does that look like for you?
I do it on a monthly basis, but we do
Okay.
have a high amount of cash flow coming in consistently. So it doesn't get away from me by doing it on a monthly basis. And we sell gift cards pretty regularly, but it's not like all the time we're selling a whole bunch of gift cards. And so Monthly for me works good. I think if you have a lower cash flow, like where maybe your numbers are a little bit lower or things are a little bit tighter, I do think maybe weekly is probably a good rule of thumb. I don't know that daily you have to be so crazy on it, because you probably have enough money coming in to cover little bits and pieces, unless you're running like a promo. But for me, I think monthly works good because it's easy and we have that money coming in. If somebody redeemed 2 or 3 gift cards, we could cover that and then move the money over once a month.
Yeah, I agree with that. We do a high number of gift card sales. So I do mine on a weekly basis. I also have a smaller team. So cash flow is always a little bit different with a smaller team as well. And so, yeah, I would agree with you with my bigger team. I always did it on a monthly. Now I do it on a weekly, but we also sell more gift cards than we used to. And so things change. So you might just have to adapt and do things your way. But I would definitely try to start out on a weekly basis, and then as you get it down, kind of move it to that monthly basis if you can. The third thing owners need to do is make sure your team understands how gift cards work when it comes to the commission and their pay. A lot of owners don't ever explain this to, their employees. And if they sell a gift card, they think that they're getting money off of that gift card sell. We can say that it's common sense as owners that employees should know that, but they don't. Guys, you have to understand some of these people are 18 years old coming straight out of cosmetology school. There's a lot that they don't understand. I mean, I'm going to be real here with you. There's still a lot of business stuff that a lot of our listeners don't understand. And so, how can you expect these young people, to understand and get it all? So, it's really important that you explain that to them and let them know how it works. Chandra, do you feel like this is one of those areas where owners can sometimes overcomplicate things when they're explaining it, and the cleanest system is just a simple explanation of like, this is exactly how it works, boom, boom, boom. I feel like owners totally overcomplicate this.
I think they overcomplicate it. And I think that they sometimes don't always even know themselves exactly how this process is working. And so they don't know how to explain it to the team. But like what we do is our team knows, like they sell gift cards, we run promotions, that all of those things, but we explain it as like, this is guaranteed future money for you, right? Like you're getting the service today that they're paying for, or they're buying a gift card or whatever that is. That's future money for you. So it's still a benefit to you to sell those gift cards, because then those clients are then going to come in, or maybe they're even going to get new clients, if somebody's in their chair buying a gift card for someone who hasn't been in before. And so they get the money when the gift card gets redeemed. And that's how we always just explain it, like, this is future money for you. When they come in, they use the gift card, that service they got that day goes on your total and you get paid. Like, it's as simple as that.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, but like you said, when owners don't understand it, sometimes it's going to be overcomplicated to the stylist or the team member. Something else that you can think of when you are selling these gift cards is if you are wanting to give incentive to your team or incentivize your team to sell them, you can do a bonus structure of some sort or a raffle or a competition for whoever can sell the most. And you can reward your team for doing things. You just got to be careful when you do that and make sure that, you're not giving away too much, but it's a great way to get gift cards to start selling in your salon if they aren't selling right now. Gift cards are a great thing if you know how to use them. The fourth step is something that will make your financial life much easier as the owner. And that is what we talked about. Start paying attention to how quickly gift cards are usually redeemed in your salon. This is really important. I don't think people look at this enough. Once owners start paying attention to that rhythm, Chandra, do you feel like their financial picture usually does start making a little more sense to them?
Oh yeah, I think so for sure. And it gives them more control over what's happening with the money. They know, they feel more empowered, I think, too, because they know what's coming in, what's going out, it just paints such a clear picture. And I feel like that's what everybody needs.
Yeah, it really does. It's really cool actually to see the patterns As I look back on some of my reporting, the patterns usually stay pretty much the same. We see the majority of our gift cards redeemed within a certain amount of time. Every single year, it's kind of a certain amount of time. And so I kind of can gauge a little bit of when that's going to be redeemed, how it's going to look, what it's going to feel like, and how it's going to hit my salon. And so I just think the financial side of your business can actually be fun when you start understanding it and start looking at things. It's so cool to see the same patterns and to know that you can play with things and mess with things and increase that profitability and do things to spike up the revenue and all of this stuff. It blows my mind that owners think that this is just a boring part of business because it's not. It really isn't. It's pretty fun and exciting. I think it's just that owners don't understand that financial side. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's that they don't understand. And I think sometimes if it's not going well, it just stresses them out. So they want to ignore it instead of actually,
Yeah.
correcting it and then being happy that they have money coming in and excited. And that is when it makes it fun. It's not fun when it's not good, but it's fun when you fix that and then it becomes good.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite things to see at the Beauty Biz agency is when we get owners in and they are in a not good financial situation, like a lot of us, and we see these changes little by little and to a point to they're like, holy crap, they're hitting higher revenue than I am and their profitability is higher than mine at this point. But to see their face and just the understanding and the way that they can actually find passion in that and help grow their team and find passion in leading and coaching and guiding their team is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. I think we just want you guys to understand that gift cards should be used strategically because they are really, really powerful when they are done right in your business. They can bring in new clients, they can boost sales during slower seasons, they can create excitement around promotions. The key is simply understanding that gift cards are prepaid services, they are not instant profit. I think once you understand that difference, gift cards stop creating confusion inside of your business and they start becoming a tool that you can actually use intentionally to do amazing things. All right, Chandra, before we wrap up today, I want to jump into the listener question for the week. A salon owner wrote in and said, I have a question about booking gaps. I have a stylist who is a great person. The clients love her, but her schedule constantly has holes in it. Meanwhile, I have other stylists who are booked out weeks ahead. I've tried talking to her about posting more on social media and asking clients to pre book, but nothing seems to really change. At what point do you step in more as the owner and start setting expectations around booking performance? Chandra, I'm curious what your first reaction would be if you were the owner dealing with this situation.
Well, I mean, I think there's like two things there that I would check into. One would be career growth plan. Is this tied to anything pre-booking and building themselves? And then the other thing I would look at is retention. Like, why does this person have gaps? Are they not retaining new clients when they're getting them and they're not coming back in? Are they losing regular clients who aren't coming back? Like there's a hole there for sure. Like I would say there's definitely, especially if you're other stylists are busy, like so you could be a busy salon. So if you have one person that's just not cutting it, there is something wrong. And so those are the things that I would investigate first. Like, do you have a career growth plan? Are you holding them accountable? And what's their retention?
Once again, right back to the same old story, right? This is why it's so important for you to have that CEO time in your business because you have the ability to be able to investigate and dissect and figure out what's going on and actually help your team members grow. I think you hit the nail on the head. Those are the two things that I would look at and that need to be looked at in order to get this changed. As we wrap this up, the biggest thing we want owners to walk away understanding is this. Gift cards are not free money sitting in your account. They represent services that your salon still has to deliver later. When owners start looking at them through that type of lens, a lot of confusion around cash flow inside of your business is going to disappear. You stop wondering why certain months feel busy, but the numbers don't look the way that you expected. And you start understanding how money is actually moving through your entire beauty business. That's really part of stepping into the CEO role in your business. It means slowing down long enough to just understand how the finances and the money works instead of just reacting to what the bank account looks like on a random Tuesday. Most salon owners were never taught how the financial side of the industry actually works, which is why things like gift cards, payroll timing, revenue patterns, they can all feel really, really confusing. If you are listening to this and realizing there are parts of your salon, the financial side of your salon, that still feels really confusing, that is exactly what we help people with at the Beauty Biz Agency. We help you understand your numbers, strengthen your systems inside your business, and help build salons that are actually profitable and predictable instead of constantly feeling stressful or maybe even uncertain. If that's something you want for your business, head over to our website, thebeautybizagency.com. You can grab some of our free resources, check out our coaching options, or even book a free strategy call with our team. And if this episode helped you or made you think just a little differently, make sure that you share it with another salon owner who might need to hear it. Also, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. It helps us more than you know, and it helps other owners find us. We appreciate them so, so much. Also, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode or any of the amazing things we have going on at the Beauty Biz Agency. Chandra, how do our listeners stay connected?
Make sure you're following us on social media at the Beauty Biz Agency on Instagram and Facebook, and the Beauty Biz Mentors on TikTok, and drop us a message. Let us know what you'd like us to answer on the air or what you'd like to hear, because we would love to do that for you. So make sure you're following and paying attention to what we got going on.
All right. That's a wrap on today's episode of the Beauty Biz Breakdown. We just want you running your salon with a clear understanding of how the money actually works, because when the numbers make sense, the whole business gets a lot easier to lead. Until next time, keep a close eye on how money is actually moving through your salon, stay aware of what your numbers are really telling you, and keep leading your business with the clarity and the confidence of the CEO that you are becoming. Now go out there, make bank, run the show, and ditch that chair. And as always, keep slaying those business goals with a whole lot of swagger. If this episode lit a fire under you, don't just walk away and let it die out. Deep down, you already know where you want your business and your life to go. And the truth is, the only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is a real plan to get you there. That's exactly what we help you build. So if you're ready to stop trying to figure it out on your own, head to thebeautybizagency.com and book your free strategy call. That call can give you the clarity that you've been needing and a real plan to move your business forward. Because at the end of the day, the only thing standing between you and the salon business you've been dreaming about is whether or not you're willing to take the action and the steps in order to build it.